this short video, we're going to look at a feature of your iPad and iPhone's home screen, an area called the dock. The dock on your iPad, on your iPhone, is the row of apps that you see at the bottom of the screen. The purpose of the dock on the iPad and iPhone is to allow you to put your most frequently used apps, your favorite apps, into this spot so that when you switch between screens, the apps are visible on each of the screens that you visit. So it's for your frequently used apps so that they can be accessible from all your home screens. On my iPad, when I'm in an app, when I'm currently using an app, I can easily access the dock by sliding up from below the bottom of the screen, which makes it very simple then to switch from one app to another and then back again to a different app. If I drag a bit further, not only do I get the dock, but I get my control center, which we're going to talk about separately. So coming back to that dock, on the iPad, I can store quite a number of apps in the dock. Storing apps in the dock is a matter of putting your finger on the app and dragging it down to the dock. If I want iTen Coffee, the app to be in the dock, I drag that down, and you'll see that the apps get smaller and smaller to accommodate the app that I'm putting in there. So I'm putting my finger on the app until it pulses just a bit, and then I can drag it down. And I can also drag any app I don't want in the dock back out again. So put my finger on it and drag it out again. Put my finger on it and drag it out again. You'll notice also in the dock on the iPad that there is a bar over to the right hand side, and some apps are on the right hand side of this bar. This is showing your last used app or apps. So if I now tap on settings, settings is not currently in that dock. If I tap on settings and then I exit settings, you'll see that settings becomes the rightmost app down the bottom in my dock. If I now open camera and close it again by pressing the home button, you'll see my camera app is now in the dock on that right hand side as a recently used app. If I tap my iBooks and tap again, you'll see that iBooks is now in the dock. So that set of apps on the right hand side there will show the most recently used 3 apps. Very handy for when you're switching between apps. You will find that quite useful. On my iPhone, on the right hand side of the screen, you'll see that there's not the same number of apps. On the iPhone, the maximum number of apps that you can have in your dock is 4. And you don't have that same ability to be in an app and seeing the content of your dock. You just don't get that same capability. You don't have that same multitasking aspect that you do on the iPad. The other thing that's different on the iPhone is that you need to get your apps into edit mode, which we're going to talk about later. I'm not going to cover here, but you have to get your apps into this mode where they're wiggling so that you can move things in and out of the dock. So it's not quite as simple as we saw on the iPad. So I'll talk about that later when we're talking about managing your apps, moving your apps, grouping your apps. So on the iPhone, you only have space for 4 apps. So choose the apps that you're likely to use the most so that they're there all the time when you're swiping between your home screens. This has been a short video about the dock on the iPad and the iPhone.